What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Mr. T here. We are not cracking today. Today we're looking at Bryce's Patron purchase commander deck, $100. Let's price it out. It's the first time I'm going to do this. And Bryce, you're also kind of a test guinea pig here. Trying to figure out how to improve video quality. Just trying to figure out how to improve some sound quality. So I'm messing with a lot of configurations. Let's see how it goes. So far, looking on my screen, I think definitely I have some lighting issues that I need to get fixed. That's not too bad though. So I did add a little bit of light here in the corner. That way I was able to get the camera to focus a lot better, because I did see one of the comments was saying how the camera was not doing justice. And as I was looking at it and I was looking through a bunch of videos, I noticed that that definitely was the case. But none of my cameras are like super cheap. They're all well within, like, they should be doing a good job. How about that? They should be doing a good job. It's the user, not the equipment. Anyways, we're gonna jump right into it. We built Bryce. Gosh, holding a whole commander deck sometimes, I don't want to do that the whole video. Let's jump right into it. We did build Dragonlord Ojutai. We have I believe the secret lair edition. I think this might have been the 30th countdown kit. I'm gonna look at all the cards, price them out for you guys, and you can just take a look at the deck. And somebody usually mox fields it, so we'll see if they do that again. And let's stop rambling and just get right to it. 1 minute and 55 seconds, and Jesus, this guy talks way too much. Dragonlord Ojutai. He's got flying. He's hexproof as long as it's on tap, and then when he deals combat damage to a player, you're going to look at the top 3 cards of your library. You're going to put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So the most fun thing about doing these for the patrons, one, it's $100 for this deck, so we're going to see how he came out value-wise. But two, it's always interesting to just go through the cards, because I have probably, I don't know, 35 boxes or so sitting right here next to the desk, just full of rares, mythics, commons, uncommons, foils, stuff that we've pulled on the channel, people don't claim, stuff that I just have in my personal collection. So every deck we build, it's just interesting, because I could go and rebuild Dragonlord right now, and I may not even get the same deck or anywhere close to it, because it just depends on what cards I come across first. But for this one, I was focused on trying to make the deck. We're just going to go through our deck a lot, basically. I really like that idea of looking at the top 3 cards of your library and then drawing one, and then putting the rest on the bottom. So that was pretty much the theme of the deck. White-blue, we're going to be very control-y, and we're just looking through. There's no crazy combos in here, nothing like that, but the deck should play pretty snappy. You're going to be doing a lot of drawing, a lot of searching. You got plenty of counterspells in here, so let's get right into it. We do, of course, have some nice value spells. Alright, so if you're attacking with your Dragonlord, obviously he's going to lose that hexproof, so Displacer Kitten is going to work out pretty nicely. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you get to exile up to 1, target non-land permanent you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its control. So basically, we can just use that to kind of protect our Dragonlord. Even on other turns, we still might be able to help us protect a little bit. At least he will lose his target on anything that's just targeting him if for some reason he isn't untapped. I don't think I came across too much equipment as far as getting some equipment for him for vigilance, but we do have some other protection things. But that is definitely a route to go, is try and get some things into the deck that are going to give your Dragonlord vigilance, so you can just swipe away every single turn. We've got Matoya, Archon Elder from Final Fantasy, new card here. So whenever you scry or surveil, draw a card. So since we're scrying, whenever Ojutai does damage, you're going to get to draw. So it's going to pair up very nicely. Empyrean Eagle. Oh, whoa, shiny. Maybe too much light. Our commander, and there is a lot of flying in this deck, so other creatures you control with flying are going to get +1/+1. Good old Ledger Shredder. Whenever a player casts their second spell this turn, you're going to connive. Well, there's going to be a lot of double casting, so you're playing Commander most of the time in multi-way. You're probably going to get a number of double spells from your opponent's turns, and then you yourself, with the amount of draw here, once you get mana'd up, that Ledger Shredder is going to do work. Vesuvian Drifter. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. Just the idea of looking at the top of our library a lot is going to be really cool. And then at the beginning of each combat, you may reveal the top card of your library. If a creature is revealed this way, it becomes a copy of that card until end of turn, except it has flying. So decently, we can go, if we do get to look at the top of our library, have a creature there, we might be able to copy something that could be very nice and just benefit more draw, etc., etc. The Reality Chip. I friggin' love this card. I mean, it seems so clunky. It never found its way into Standard. I tried to make it work when it was in Standard. I don't even remember what Standard was like at that time. But it just didn't happen. But you may look at the top card of your library at any time. Sticking to that theme, we're going to be looking through our library at the top of our library. Hopefully a ton with this deck. As long as it is attached to a creature, you may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. That is so good. Like, we're just going to attach it to our Dragonlord, who's most of the time going to have hexproof. And then, basically, we can play lands and cast spells from top of our library. Hopefully, that is the goal. I mean, if you can... I think one thing that this deck is really going to need is a graveyard shuffler. We need something that we can dump into our graveyard and then let our graveyard get reshuffled back into our deck. Metropolis Reformer. Since we're going to have a lot of going through our library and everything, I did want to kind of remove some of the options for our opponents to make that even worse for us. Okay, so we don't want to get milled out. I don't have a win con in here like Lab Maniac or was it Thassa's Oracle. So you could add those in there considering how much the deck is going to be able to hopefully play. But this has Flying, Vigilance. You have Hexproof, so you can't be targeted by your opponents to mill cards or sacrifice creatures, things like that. And then when it's dealt damage, you're going to gain that much life. It is a great card for Commander. Just a lot of value there. It also does have Flying, so it's going to get that +1/+1. Enduring Curiosity. Great card. Great card. So whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you're going to draw a card. When it dies, bring it back. Except it's an enchantment. Scholar of New Horizons. And he's going to enter a... Scholar of New Horizons enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. You can remove a counter from a permanent you control. Search your library for a planes card, reveal it. If an opponent controls more lands than you, you may put that card on the battlefield tapped. If you don't put that onto the battlefield, put it into your hand and then shuffle. So if we can find some ways to put some +1/+1 counters onto this guy, some additional ones, or any other permanent that we own, that'd be nice. I actually was thinking about this. This card is probably underutilized. This one, and there's a few other ones where there's a new card in Final Fantasy where you can remove a counter from a permanent you control. All I'm thinking of is Sagas and how to just infinitely just keep our Saga in play and just keep benefiting. So you have a Saga out on the battlefield. We're going to remove a counter from a permanent control. So it's got 2 lore counters. We're going to move 1 lore counter. It's going to go back. You're going to get that trigger from your Saga. And it should just keep going, right? I think that's pretty awesome. All right. We've got the Ithilid Scholar. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, you may return it to its owner's hand. And then when one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Quicksmith Spy. Enters battlefield, you're going to target an artifact you control. It's going to gain tap, draw a card for as long as you control Quicksmith. So ideally we can just target some little chumpy treasure, or if we're done using our rocks early game, we can just transform our rocks into mini draw engines. Loyal Warhound. I'm going to go get a plains and put it onto the battlefield tap. So we do have a few ways to thin out our deck for lands, which would be nice so that we don't just always scry or draw into lands. Or you just play them from the top of your deck. Hermes Overseer of Elpis. whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you're going to create a 1/1 blue bird creature token with flying and vigilance. So I think creature-wise, we're sitting around somewhere around 25, I think. So it's going to be nice. We have a lot of non-creature spells in here. 38 lands, so in between 25, 38, I mean, almost half the deck is non-creature. That's great, so we're going to get a lot of benefit from that. And they have flying and vigilance. That's pretty dope. And then whenever you attack with one or more birds, you're going to scry 2. The flavor, it just... This deck's just going to scry the whole... You're just going to scry your whole deck. Whenever a player draws their second card during their turn, you draw a card. Whenever a player casts their second spell during their turn, you create a 2/2 white knight creature token. Pretty sweet. Going off those second abilities, the second. I guess what's a good term for that? I don't know. Second actions, I guess. Okay, we'll go with that. So those second actions, and you're going to draw a card or create a creature token. That's pretty dope. You should be able to benefit a lot from that in Commander. The most evil card ever created. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I couldn't not put this in there. When I saw it, I was just like, well, we're playing blue-white. What blue-white deck would not want a Grand Arbiter Augustin the 4th? White spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. I'm sure everybody knows what this does. At some point has seen some tool play this card. But see, Bryce, this could be your next commander too. You can just take it out of the deck and create your own blue-white control no more friends deck. But spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast. That's such a good card. Such a good card. We've got the Sky Summoner. We're going to make some more creature tokens with flying 2/2 drakes whenever you cast an instant or sorcery. Such a bulk card, though. Like, honestly, how many times has Talrend been freaking reprinted? I don't even know why. Why do they choose him? Is he, like... Do people play Talrend a lot? Like, is he super popular? I'm going to have to go check, like, EDH Rec and see what the top mono blue decks commanders are. Alright, we've got Ineaz, the Gale Force. He's got flying, he's a Djinn. And 3 to make attacking creatures with flying, get +1/+1 until end of turn. And then 3 more creatures you control with a flying attack. Each player gains control of a non-land permanent of your choice, controlled by the player to their right. I thought this was a really cool flavor kind of card. So you do have a lot of flying, so you should be able to use that ability. And then you're just going to pass off like a bird token. And then you're just gonna steal something from somebody else. I think that's pretty cool. We're just gonna give away tokens, and we're probably gonna get something a lot better, a lot better in return. We could totally change the board state with that card. Skycat Sovereign, so it's gonna get +1/+1 for each other creature you control flying. We have a lot of flying, and then you can create some cat bird tokens with flying. I guess we kind of went flying with this deck too, didn't we? So, Hercule Master Wizard. At the beginning of your end step, if you've cast a non-creature spell this turn, half our deck is non-creature. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. So, again, going for more of that scry, reveal, look. And then for each card type among non-creature spells you've cast this turn, you put a card of that type from among the reveal cards into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I think that's pretty cool. Nice flavor there. Good old verbose host from the worst set, according to everybody. Start your engines. You have no maximum hand size. And then max speed. So you've got to deal damage, what, 4 times? 3 times. You got to deal damage 3 times. Or, I mean, actually, does speed... Oh, now I need to go look. Is speed if you do damage or if your opponents take damage? Because in Commander, that would be sick. I should know these things. Anyways, if you get max speed, you're going to draw a card. You're going to draw 2 cards instead. So mass draw from that. We have the Guardian Sunmare. Another terrible card, apparently. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, search your library for a non-land permanent card with mana value 3 or less. Put it onto the battlefield and then shuffle. Has War 2. It does take 4 power to saddle it, but, I mean, that's pretty okay. We're going to end up we're pretty much just going to use it to thin the deck, put things out. And if you end up altering the deck in any way, start to combo it out, you can go find those permanents for 3 or less that are going to help combo. Really useful too, actually, if you want to go get your 3 or less equipments and just start stacking them onto the battlefield. So I think that's pretty good. You can also put out some protection some protection auras, enchantments, things like that. Tons of things that you can get value from in there. Teferi, who slows the sunset. Oh my goodness, the text is so small. There's so much text. So it's +1. Choose up to 1 target artifact, up to 1 target creature, and up to 1 target land. Untap the chosen permanents you control. Tap the chosen permanents you don't control. You gain 2 life. All right. Really, we're just going for the emblem, I believe. And then also that -2 is really going to work with that flavor. So we're going to look at the top 3 cards of our library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. I mean, that's Ojutai. And then you're going to get an emblem with untap all permanents you control during each opponent's untap step, and you draw a card during each opponent's draw step. That is just busted. You get that emblem. Game over, man. Game over. Mu Yan Ling, the Wind Rider. Such a gorgeous card. We pulled quite a few of these, actually, when we were opening up Aether Drift. When this creature enters, create a 3/2 colorless vehicle artifact token with crew 1, and then vehicles you control have flying. Whenever one or more creatures you control with flying deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Very nice there. Going to go along with the flying theme. Good planeswalker. We have Kaito, Cunning Infiltrator. Haven't seen this boy in a while. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a loyalty counter on Kaito. His emblem is going to be whenever a player casts a spell, you create a 2/1 blue ninja creature token. That's freaking dope. You can also just -2 to do the same thing. And then up to 1 target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. Draw a card, then discard a card. The deck having so much flying in it, you probably can get set up for Kaito. Basically, just go ahead and drop him on the battlefield. Don't loyalty him. And then have your creatures attack. Deal a bunch of combat damage. Put all your loyalty counters on him. And then get his -9. So by the time it gets to the next person's turn, they're going to have to give you a token every time they cast something. That's pretty sick. I like that. All right, so we've gone through creatures and planeswalkers. Now we're on to our enchantments. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, scry 1. I wonder who we're going to put this on. Enchant creature can't be blocked. That's so dope. That's going on our commander for sure. Robe of Mirrors. Enchant creature has Shroud. Can't be target of spells or abilities. When's the last time you've seen these cards? Alexi's Cloak. You can play it, so it's got flash. Enchanted creature can't be the target of spells or abilities. Ring of Evos Isle. So I wanted to get the other ring. I believe it's the Ring of Thune. Yeah. I couldn't find one. We came across this one, so I took what I could get. Equipped creature gains hexproof until end of turn. So you could pay 2, so kind of a last minute protection for your Ojutai if by some chance he's not untapped at the end of your turn. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on equipped creature if it's blue. Pretty good there. It's gonna get pumped up, and actually I think that's gonna pair well to. Oh no, our scholar is not blue. Let's somehow make our scholar blue. That would be so sick. Oh well. Our scholar's not blue. He's white. He should be blue-white. Refocus here. There we go. Alright. Much better. The Adaptive Omni Tool. This one's pretty cool. So, quick creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. And then when it attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them and put it into your hand. So, I'm telling you, you're going to see your whole deck like 5 times. Basically, you're either going to see your whole deck or you're just going to draw it. So, there should be a lot of action. Now that I think about it, this deck's probably going to turn into that deck that everybody's waiting for you to finish your turn, and they just want to do like one thing. Like, they just want to play their land. That's all they want. And they're like, okay, are you done yet, buddy? Swiftfoot Boots. good old Swiftfoot. We've got an Azorius Signet, Commander Sphere. So we got our rocks, a little bit of equipment there. Thought Vessel, no maximum hand size. I think that's going to be important. And of course, our instants. Of course, we need Negate to counter non-creature spell. Stymied Hopes. Oh, is this from Original Theros, I think? Do we say on the bottom? I think that is Original Theros. Anyways, counter target spell unless the controller pays 1, and you get to scry 1. Of course we need, of course, there's got to be. Oh, and if I'm not mistaken, there is a 10, so it's 110 cards, so you got a 10 card sideboard. Bryce, you can whittle down your last 10 cards to whatever you would like. God's Willing, target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. Scry 1. A lot of scry. Ooh. Alright, let's see if we get lighting there. Artistic Refusal. You can convoke this spell, so it is a big 6-drop, but you can choose one or both. Counter target spell and draw 2 cards, then draw a card. Spell Pierce. Counter target non-creature spell unless its opponent pays 2. Surge of Salvation. You and permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn. Prevent all damage that black and or red sources would deal to creatures you control. I do like not being able to be targeted, so you get those single, like kind of spells that are just gonna mass wipe everybody. Well, everybody except for you gets to die. Sajiri's Shelter. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. So two nice thing about some of those protection cards, color of your choice, you end up being able to use them not only as a saving, but it could be a game finisher too. You could just push your commander through past whatever color one player's playing just to kind of finish them out. So, Disenchant. Of course, we need some removal here. Domin's Veto. Oh, that new Final Fantasy Domin's Veto looks so good. So good. Can't be countered. Counter target non-creature spell. And then Chastise. So this is a funny one. You gain life equal to its power. You destroy target attacking creature. I just want to see somebody attack with like a freaking what is it? The giant cactar. they don't even attack you. They don't even attack you. That's the best part. So it's target attacking creature. They go to like swing and kill somebody else, and you're just like, huh. Do I really want to let him die, or do I want 9,000 life? Fact or Fiction. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. An opponent separates those cards into 2 piles. Put one pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. I think Fact or Fiction. I really want to swap that out for something that's gonna. There's a spell that counters. I think it's a counterspell. It might be a 4-drop, and then it lets you shuffle 3 cards from your graveyard back into your library. Yeah, something like that. So I would probably substitute some of those search cards in for some graveyard return. But filter out, return all non-creature, non-land permanents to their owner's hands. We've got Disruption Protocol. We're going to counter target spell, but we do have to pay an additional cost of either 1 or tap an untapped artifact we control. So, foily. Access denied. Counter target spell, create X/1/1 colorless stop their artifact creature tokens with flying, where X is that spell's mana value. I just want to see somebody cast something stupidly big like a 12-drop, and we're just like, nope. Insidious Will. Choose one counter target spell, choose new targets for a spell, or copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. We've got good old March of Swirling Mist, so we've got a little phase out right there. We can either protect ourselves or use it as a finisher. Let me get all the way down to the lands. Lands for last. It's all the same thing that we normally do, but we've got Transcendent Message. We got to Convoke for some draw X cards at instant speed. Really like those instant X draw spells, because you can just play them kind of whenever you feel is very safe, or you're just into somebody's turn and you have extra mana. As an additional cast, March of Otherworldly Light, so exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment with mana value X or less. A little bit of spot removal right there. Okay, Gifts Ungiven. Search your library for up to 4 cards with different names and reveal them. Target opponent chooses 2 of those cards, put the chosen cards into your graveyard, and the rest into your hand, then shuffle. Pretty straightforward. Soul Partition. You know, you might need something to help restructure the board. That's why I like the Gifts Ungiven and what is it? Fact or Fiction. Yeah, Fact or Fiction and Gifts Ungiven, because sometimes the board is just way tilted and everybody knows it. So you can select that player who's not doing so well and, you know, kind of make some deals. We all like making deals when we play Commander. Be like, if you give me this card, it's going to help us get this under control. Soul Partition. We're going to exile target non-land permanent for as long as that card remains exiled and its owners may play it. A spell cast by an opponent this way costs 2 more to cast. Really, you can just use this to save yourself. You can use this to get rid of something else off the field if you're ready to just move in and get a finisher. Few different ways you could play this card. It's all about timing, though. Good old Absorb. Counter target spell, you gain 3 life. And we have Scatter to the Winds, which we can also awaken it to create a little 3/3 elemental. But really, we're just going to counter target spell. Invasion of Ren. So, enters the battlefield, you get to draw 3 cards and then discard. It is a 4-drop. That's pretty good for... That's pretty good draw for a 4-drop, especially considering it's a battle that you get to flip into this beautiful sucker. So, 1 tap, sacrifice it, copy target spell you control. I think this thing's so awesome. I mean, so many things you can do with that. So many, just copy one of your finishers to double it up and make sure it's actually going to finish. Yeah. Whoa, the foiling is insane. Hold on. There we go. Foiling on this card is so insane. Didn't want to let anything focus. Even with the extra special lighting. So Behold the Unspeakable. Well, it's just a saga. It's going to scry to draw 2 cards, and then it's going to flip. And that's really the main reason why we got it, because we should end up having a lot of cards in our hand. So Flying Trample gets +1/+1 for each card in your hand. And it has flying. We've got the Restoration of Ijanjo, and that is to search for a plains, and then when it flips, we also can return target permanent card, mana value 2 or less, from the graveyard. But it's going to flip, and we're going to get some colorless spirit creature tokens whenever he attacks. A little 3/4. Nothing crazy, but you're going to get value. Get that land. Hoofprint of the Stag. Whenever you draw a card, you may put a hoofprint counter on the stag. So I thought this was pretty cool because we should be drawing a lot, and then you can remove some counters to put 4/4 white elemental creature tokens with flying into play. And sometimes you just come across these crazy cards and I don't know how we got here, you know? Like, how it's so crazy to see how these decks turn out, because I have no idea how we got to this. How it just came together with so much flying, and then some of this energy is... It's so funny. Anyways, Call for Unity. Beginning of your end step, if permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, put a Unity counter on it, and creatures you control get +1/+1 for each Unity counter on Call for Unity. It's going to work really well. We've got that creature. We've got Displacement Kitten. We've got the creature that lets us trade with our opponents. There's just so many things. You know, you can even add in a sack outlet to get rid of some of your little tokens that you don't really care about. There's so many things. You've got the one creature that when you attack, if it gets blocked, the creature gets returned to your hand instead. So I think that's going to work out nicely. The Temporal Anchor, probably one of the coolest cards I came across. It's so obscure. I don't think anybody plays with this, but it's going to work out great. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 2. Whenever you choose to put one or more cards on the bottom of your library while scrying, exile that many cards from the bottom of your library. During your turn, you may play cards exiled with the Temporal Anchor. I mean, Where are we at, Dragonlord? If there was ever a card more meant to go with Dragonlord Ojutai, it just worked out so perfect. We've got the Thopter Fabricator. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. So more flyers. We've got Monk class. Second spell you cast each turn costs 1 less to cast. When this class becomes level 2, return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. And then level 3, at the beginning of your upkeep, exile top card of your library for as long as it remains exiled. It has, you may cast this card from exile as long as you've cast another spell this turn. Wow. I mean, if we just stack everything, you just, the overlap should be quite good. The overlap is just going to be so good, but it might be a lot to keep track of. So I hope you have your thinking cap on, Bryce. At the beginning of your end step, untap all non-land permanents you control. Everybody was just after this card for Unstoppable Plan. I don't know why, but it's going to work out with our Ojutai because he's going to untap, and when he's untapped, he has Hexproof. Preordained, scry 2, draw a card. It is at sorcery speed, but it's only a 1-drop, so we're okay with that. Angelic Purge, as this will cost to cast a spell sacrifice permanent, exile artifact, creature, or enchantment. Unfortunately, at sorcery speed again, but not too much to, it's not going to hurt too much to sacrifice any kind of little birdie. Got Will of the Teamer. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, you may choose both. Target player draws cards equal to the greatest mana value among permanents you control, and then create a token that's a copy of target permanent, except it's a 4/4 dragon creature token with flying in addition to its other types. So just keep in mind that first one, you can target any permanent on the board, okay? And it's going to become a 4/4 dragon creature with flying. So you're going to get that ETB too, so pick something good that somebody else has. The worst advice ever. Yeah, that thing with like Annihilator 4. Can I have a copy of that? Sunfall. Exile all creatures. Incubate X, where X is the number of creatures. So we got our board wipes. Phyrexian Rebirth. Another board wipe. Destroy all creatures and create an excess colorless horror artifact creature token. We have Sublime Exhalation. Undaunted. Destroy all creatures. See, they're at the end because you guys know I want to keep track of my board wipes. So I think we've got 4. I actually think probably might need 1 or 2 more, but it's blue-white. Why not? Spectacular Pile-Up, so good. All creatures and vehicles lose indestructible until end of turn, and then destroy all creatures and vehicles. That's a good one right there. No getting around with indestructible. I guess the only way you're going to get around is regenerate or anything like that. So we have... Alright, there we go. Crucible of the Spirit Dragon. Yeah. Ideally, I'm just going to use this in between at the end of people's turns. So put a storage counter on Crucible of the Spirit Dragon, remove export. So if I have any like extra mana sitting around and it's about to be my turn, I'm just going to storage counter and save for later for my extra casts if I end up having to recast my commander. So Crucible of the Spirit Dragon, pretty cool. Best way to use it. Good old Reliquary Tower. We pulled this from Mystery Booster 2 not that long ago. We have no maximum hand size. We have a Doctor Who Command Tower. Bryce, I hope you like Doctor Who. Oh, look at that lighting, that foiling. Is that? I feel like that's actually kind of what it would look like too. Like if you're walking out in a snowfield, like that's all you're gonna see, just white, bright light blinding you, and yeah. Adakar Waste. Good land, good land. Cave of the Frost Dragon. Fits so well. We've got a 3/4 flyer. The Flood Farm Verge. Good land, good land. Roadside Reliquary. Nice, another nice land right there. Artifact and enchantment. You get draw. What is this? Evolving Wilds. I'm just kidding, guys. From the Dungeons and Dragons set, Venture's Forgotten Realm. We've got a Evolving Wilds, and then pretty much all of our other lands are just going to be... We got some Lord of the Rings ones in here. Was that March of the Machine? All nice, foily, full arts. handful of other ones kind of flickered in there. Oh, the best lands ever. Our Infinity lands. Oh, it looks so good. And, oh, I throw in some Final Fantasy lands, too, since we started opening Final Fantasy, Bryce. Alright, guys. Hope you enjoy the content. This is something I offer to do for my patrons, and gives me a chance to make additional content, look at some cards. You guys get to see things that, I mean, maybe you've never seen, or get to see a different perspective on ways to play with things, build decks. Yeah, that's all I got. If you are interested, you want a deck made, Mr. T, I'm gonna put the pricing up at the end of this video or throughout the video, so you guys will be able to see, did Bryce get scammed or not. I mean, I'm pretty sure I hooked him up pretty well. Usually, I'm not even gonna count the lands. We're not even gonna count the lands. So anything over $1 will be up, and let's see how we did, Bryce. For everybody else, if you're interested, all you gotta do is message me on Patreon, on email, drop a like, comment, and I will see you guys next time.